Okay, we're going to call this special city council meeting of Town of Pecos City to order. Let the record show that Councilman Art Arona, Councilwoman Vanetta Seals, and Councilman Conrad Saldana is in attendance. Are there any public comments at this time?
I would just like to remind the community that we are coming up on the 34th Annual Health Fair at Reeves Regional Health. As usual, some really good deals for some blood package, PSA, and EKG, and lots of other good services and organizations and companies that are going to be there. We're going to have a great arcing demonstration by Texas New Mexico Power. So we just invite everyone to come out. That is Saturday, October 6th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. The blood package is only from 8 to 11, and it is a fasting test. So please don't eat or drink anything if you want to come for that. So come on out and join us.
Any other public comments? Okay. We will go on to the non-consent agenda. Discuss, consider additional hot funds for Cyclone Ballpark Phase 2. Charles Leno, City Manager.
Mayor and Council, Charles Leno, City Manager. I come before you today with some changes that the changes weren't in addition to the original scope of the project that I brought back 6, 8, 9 months ago. But in the conversations and the iterations that we've gone through with city staff, we want to finalize and finish the park the way that it needs to be done. And if we're going to do that, it's going to cost more than the $12 million that you all authorized. In order to put the amenities that we talked about in there, it's going to be the total that you see on there, a little over $21 million to completely finish the park the way that it needs to. With that being said, we have the hot funds available in the bank to accommodate that, as well as still accommodate the hot board. I didn't go before the hot board with this because I didn't go last time. I'm not giving them an option. It's going to be strictly a council option on this.
So we're superseding.
Like we did last time. Yeah.
I'll say I was questioned about that.
Yes. I can imagine. This is one just like with the beginning one that we came out there when we did the authorization. We didn't go to hot for that either. But I'm not going to, with us, if you all authorize us to go ahead and complete this the way that it needs to get done, we will do that, and there will still be plenty of funds in there to accommodate the hot board, as well as funds that will be coming in.
So there are no rules or requirements for us to approach them first?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And the 21 million, is that from the 12, that's 9 additional?
It is.
Million? Okay.
Which will bring the total to what?
Yeah, the total will be 21 million.
No. Total.
With that, 39 million.
Okay.
The park will be just under $40 million is what it will cost overall.
I think that was what it was going to cost us when we first initially started it, that they started taking out everything, all the concrete barriers, the middle part was, instead of dirt, was going to be concrete.
Wasn't it like 38 million or
38
something?
million.
So, I mean, if that was the case that many years ago, this is
and that was in
pretty good deal.
2018.
And we've added a lot of nice amenities. I mean,
Yes.
staff, I mean, everybody that's over here has been in all of the meetings, and we were looking at it, and we don't want it to be, I think our citizens and council wants it to be, we want to be proud of that facility, and I think if you all authorize this, once we get done with this, everybody's going to be proud of this facility.
On the older part, the original
Yes, sir.
deals, are we going to pay back, or where are we at with it as far as?
How much have we paid back?
We paid back 3 years worth of the debt. We have that on the books. It's at a good rate, so we don't need to pay it off sooner. But what I would recommend, and I would come to council after we get this done, is probably next year in the budget, I would ask that you authorize us to pay a double payment on it, or even an extra $1 million or $1.5 million in order to pay that debt down sooner.
Because we were on a time frame on that, right? If we did.
We had a 10-year debt.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And so we paid 3 of the 10 right now.
Oh, good.
And I'd like to expedite and pay it off. Right now, the city, from a debt standpoint, is in really good shape. And I haven't proposed anything to address it until I get all of the audits caught up, so that I can ensure that we get the best rate on
Well, I'm
it.
glad Randy's not here because he said the word audit.
Yeah, and I, in addition to the summary sheet that you see there, the back piece of it, which is on the standard contractors agreement, is the AIA piece for the phase 3 piece of it that we've already looked at and I would like to move forward with. So our goal is still to have this done by the end of the year, and they still are on that timeline to get it done by November.
Good.
And I don't remember at this point, does this include lighting at the entrance?
It does. It includes a lot of the stuff that we left off. There will be lighting at the entrance. It also includes retrofitting the current concession stand to bring it up to speed to where it's going to be much more user or consumer friendly. It'll have fryers. It'll have all of that put in there. It's also going to be adding bleachers behind all of our current 5 fields and making sure that we have a complete park instead of what we have now, where we have inadequate seating at fields 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's going to change.
How far
And
down?
additional shade, a whole lot of shade.
How far down is the main entrance from the present one?
Well, the main entrance is going to stay at the same place.
Okay.
It'll be at the same place, and
More lighting.
and the way that the vision is once you walk in, you'll see our new 2-story with tables and shade structures to accommodate everybody running through there, as well as potentially.
So
be
that's all
available for
where we
space.
had all of our Christmas tree and all the
Yes,
decorations.
yes, sir. There will be space at the very front, on the front oval of that, right inside the park, but that's the only place that will not be utilized now.
Okay.
Where you're gonna have the shade and the misters, you're gonna have fans, it's gonna just to pull the air through, or?
The only area that we have fans right now are going to be in all of the dugouts to make sure that the kids can stay cooler, not anywhere else right now.
Let the fans pass out.
Yeah. Well, when they can go to, they have to go to the concession stand more often and buy more stuff.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
the
see,
thinking,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
that's.
Yeah, one of the things that Saturday, when they had that opening day, they have a record number of kids signed up. Even the junior senior league, we got, last year they had to combine the junior senior league so they could be able to play. But this year they got three teams for the junior league, 2 teams for the senior league, plus a team that's coming out of Fort Davis to play in the senior league. So they got, man.
Yeah, and the team out of Fort Davis for the senior league is going to play all of their games here as well.
Yeah,
All of their home games here.
And I think we got a team from El Paso or something from El Paso that wants to
Play here also.
play here also.
They're starting to get more interest, and I think once we get the other 3 fields in there, then we're going to be able to attract those tournaments that bring 100, 150 hotel room nights into town.
There was a lot of people Saturday, lots of people, and you know, it was cold in the morning. I was there just for a little bit, but I'll be there starting probably next week or a couple weeks because that's when the
Are you
junior league
pitching the
starts.
tent? Are you pitching the tent?
I got one
They asked me to coach. No, they all quit.
He doesn't have the temperament for it.
Oh,
I wanted to go eat. See if they would give me something free.
And they have found a general manager candidate, and that should be announced maybe this week or something like that. And he seems pretty good.
I know that the park itself is working on sponsorship packages.
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't know exactly what all those sponsorship packages are for. Are any of them for the seating? The bleachers, new bleachers?
They have done them yet, but they ought to be.
Or is that something we as a city can do? So
Absolutely.
that we
Can
aren't paying the
recover.
full price on it?
Sure.
Whether, you put a board up above the last seat, annual rental.
Seating sponsored by, absolutely, Vanetta.
And I
don't
think
know.
something like, if it's not too outrageous, it could be something that a lot of companies would want to do and want to keep renewing
Sure,
to
absolutely.
have their name out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I know that I talked to Jessica. She'll be here Thursday night to talk to y'all. And she has their sponsorship guy in town this week. And so she'll be able to give an update. I don't know. They did get Chevron to sponsor that field. I think it's too cheap, but that's me.
Is it a 1-year thing?
It's a 1 year. Every year they have to renew it. Yes, ma'am. So it's going to be a long term. I think it's $100,000 long term, but I'd rather have it with Chevron size be $100,000 a year instead of.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But they're working on it. They're getting better. They're starting to get a little bit of interest in it, and I think as we move this forward, once we get done, it's just gonna drive and generate that. It also helps that we're getting the Pecos bills out there. There's a lot of that interest and activity related to that too.
Good.
Good.
May I make a motion, we approve C1 as presented by our city manager?
I'll second. Go ahead.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilman Arona, a second by Councilman Saldana, to approve the consideration of hot funds for cyclone ballparks. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries. Item C2, discuss, consider entering into an agreement with Tommy Gonzalez for staff training. Charles Leno, City Manager.
Mayor and council, I wanted to bring this one back just to have the conversation because at our last meeting after we talked about, well, how many hours is it going to be? And he said 15 to 20 in a week, 15 to 20 hours in a week.
Every week?
Well, it depends on what we have going. Not every week. No, it's not going to be that much. It's not going to be
Working.
I think it's going to be 1 week a month. I think it'll be 1 week a month is what he plans on doing, to where it'll be 15 to 20 hours. And when I talked to him about the program that he wants to bring and put into place, he said his initial visit and meeting would be related. He said what he's going to have to do is do an assessment, work with the staff and assess it in order to put a program together to give us on a monthly basis. I've already given him a lot of information about the city when we sat down and talked. So he kind of has a generalized idea, but he, in the 1-page contract or 1.5-page contract that he talked about on scope of service, it's really about, he's talking about total quality management and just implementing some programs that he's done. I attached in this one something else that he had sent me to show what he's accomplished in the designations that he's got with the city of El Paso and some other places that he's been. So the initial program piece of it, before he can give us like a lineup of what's going to happen, is going to have to be an analysis to determine what we're going to do. So he said that the assessment is probably going to, he said he can see that taking 15 to 20 hours, just flowing through, having the right staff in there, having those conversations with people, trying to put together a program. I don't know what all it entails though.
No, I mean, it would make sense that he would need to see how we go through a process of whatever department in order to assess where that improvement can be seen.
Yeah, and that's what he said. He said trying to give you a program up front of what I anticipate I'm going to do without the initial assessment, he said, I'd be wasting your time because it's not going to happen that way. And so I've had that conversation. He's sent me a couple of other things that he's dug up, but it's only going to be propaganda more than it is here. So, I mean, I know what he's done whenever I work with him, and he's been successful anywhere he goes. He does rub people the wrong way sometimes because he's fairly aggressive in getting things done, but he is very innovative and he's got a lot of credentials. So, I mean, that's why I wanted to bring this to you in the first place. He's cheaper than the other guy, but still not inexpensive.
So are we locked into a term?
Well, the agreement that we have is that it's a 12-month contract, but it's cancelable. It is cancel. I can't say the word.
It can
You
be
can cancel it any time. So in essence, it's a month to month.
By
Is
either
what it
party.
is. By either party. Yes. So I mean, technically, the contract says it's for 12 months, but there's a clause in there that says it can be canceled at any time by either party.
Well, one of the things that I just reading that designation that that you provided, you know, if he can get our city, help us get our city, you know, you've already taken the city a step away from where we were 2-3 years ago, and with everything that's happening with everything coming into the town, you know, new businesses and now the new turf zones, whenever that comes into play, we kind of need something like this that's already, you know, and train our people to be prepared for everything that's coming into the, you know, prepared, because we're in the mode of we're just going and going and going, and really we don't need to slow down, because we don't know how long we're going to be we're going to be in this atmosphere that we are today.
We're gonna be here for 10 more years.
Right, amen.
At least.
Well, at least. And that's what I'm seeing, and right now is the time to take advantage of it, because we were in lean years for way too long. And I think right now is the time to do it, and I think with our people, to get them, you know, prepared for the long haul, we need this kind of training.
Well, and I hate to say it, but I think all of us have been there and all of us have experienced this. There's a lot of times that there's limitations because of the time that I have in here getting things done. And sometimes, just like we're talking about with the turf board, sometimes a third party. People listen better whenever there's in something and it's a third party, instead of, oh crap, I got to listen to Charles again. I don't mind doing it. I'm going to continue doing exactly what I'm doing, but I think this would bring us up to another level that would benefit the city as a whole.
Well, and when you do the same thing every day, say for instance permits or whatever, you do the same thing every day, you may not see where it can be improved or changed or streamlined somewhere, where a third party can come in and say, hey, what about this? Can you try it this way and see if it...
Absolutely.
Or
Yes.
we may have some redundant steps in, and he can see that where we don't.
Or
Yeah.
a way to separate something out and garner more
Absolutely.
revenue.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's an opportunity that I think that there's times when we don't think out of it, because we're not, I try to think, I mean, staff tell me I'm way the heck out of the box.
But that's
I
good.
still don't get far enough sometimes, I know. I think this gives us an opportunity, because I think I've talked to most of y'all, but Kelvin Ridgely did accept the position of Public Works Director. He will start on April 8th. He's the gentleman that we interviewed and I was hopeful for, that's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh,
And so it
April
is
8th.
April 8th.
Have
And
another meeting.
so do I. I'm going to be in Florida with Edward that week. So.
No, I mean, right
Right now, you do.
We won't be here either.
But, I mean,
I told him I wouldn't be there.
but I think it would be beneficial to get him and have him involved when we start doing that too.
Well, then you don't know what he'll bring to that department.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, correct. And he got along, I mean, he came because he said, I saw the interaction that we had collectively with staff and how we all were not, it wasn't like, oh, I can't say nothing because the city manager's here. It was a comfortable area. I mean, all
Well,
of
they don't wait to talk behind your back, Charles.
I don't care.
As long as he keeps a open pipeline for crawfish,
Yeah.
or you can chicken oysters, yeah.
Shrimp.
Well, he did tell us when we were in that last one with all of the staff, he said, I think I'm going to have to change my taste buds are going to have to change. Because he is not used to anything that we had up here, so he's going to have to change.
He's going to have to learn to eat
Yes, he is.
enchiladas and
That's
tacos.
correct.
Well, we
maybe
can
we have-
accommodate him by him accommodating us in that.
Yeah.
Ought to have that cooking thing where you go from house to house.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, progressive
We want to go to
dinner.
his house.
Yeah, we do, absolutely.
Progressive dinner.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Thank you.
That'd be great, yeah.
Couldn't think of what it was. And he's the one that's got a senior?
He has a sophomore and a junior in high school that if they, and they're coming here this summer. He said his wife's going to finish the school year and the kids are too, and then they will move the family here. And his son will be a senior in high school, his daughter will be a junior in high school, and she's the one that is the number 33 player in the state of Louisiana.
At what?
That's basketball.
Basketball.
Who's the basketball coach?
That's what we need.
And I
Does
told
his
EJ
wife work
about
outside
her.
She is a second grade school
Oh.
teacher.
School district.
Also, she
was
wants to
good.
teach school
Yes,
teacher. That's
absolutely.
good.
It
Lots
is.
of ways.
Yeah, and he, because I was scared that we weren't going to get him because who's going to meet with their
It's-
high
it's a
school kids
difficult
and their
decision.
sophomore and
Yeah.
junior? And he said, his comment to me was, he said, I was, the way I grew up, it was not easy. And I had to do a lot and deal with adversity a lot. He said, my kids haven't had to deal with that. This is a great learning experience for them.
Mm.
And I said, wow,
That's unique.
that's a great
Perspective.
analysis and perspective, absolutely. I was surprised.
Especially in today's time, you don't find that a lot.
No, you don't.
So, when would he, if we approve this, when would he kind of start?
I would look at starting sometime, if we were gonna do this, it would be probably in the middle of April is when I would anticipate that it would start with the assessment and stuff. Once Kelvin got here, once we had everybody in place,
And exactly when is Kelvin supposed to start?
April 8th. He will be here April
We'll
8th.
give him 2 days. And
2 days and train.
Would it be fair just to let Calvin come in, get his feet wet,
Yeah.
and start
Maybe
this?
start it in May.
May?
Maybe.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, no
That's
problem
That's
at
kind
all.
of what I was thinking
Yeah,
too.
no, absolutely, no problem at
Yeah.
all. It's gonna be, and it's one of the reasons, I'm gonna have Kelvin sitting in that office right there, so that he's going to be indoctrinated to Heather and I,
We'll be right
probably
in the
more than
middle
we
of
once.
everything.
Well, at least I won't put him in the middle of each of you.
No, I think, and Tommy's amenable to any time that we want, we get it, he's just, he said, I understand if council doesn't want to do it, and he said, it's just, I think, I could benefit the city. And I said, I don't disagree with you, Tommy, I've dealt with you before, so that's why I'm coming back tonight with this.
And I've been involved now, the first time in we call them process improvements. In the 80s when I worked at Duval, and then in the late 90s, late 80s, early 90s, when I worked for the state. And the state was kind of different. You went from your department to another department to see and study things. And like you said, different eyes see different things.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
faster ways or smoother ways.
And we are doing some of those tasks and stuff internally, just not to the level that I'd like to do. And I don't know that I can push it to that level in a short period of time.
And you got your plate.
I do.
Good job. Thank you.
I'll make the motion that we approve this agreement with Tommy Gonzalez for staff training as presented by Charles Lehman.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilman Saldana, a second from Councilwoman Seals to approve the agreement with Tommy Gonzalez for training. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries. And that's all we had, right?
That's it.
Okay,
Make a
then
motion.
this meeting is adjourned and it is 5:55 p.m.